Welcome to the Hope Athletics Orange and Blue podcast. My name is Alan Babbitt, Sports Information Director here at Hope College, and it's been a lot of fun the past 2 school years to talk to members of the Hope Athletics community, whether coaches or student athletes or staff, and share their experiences in a non-competitive setting. And with me today, 2 distinguished student athletes, Arinn King from the Hope College softball team and Jack Radzville from the Hope College men's lacrosse team. Both at our HOPEYs ceremony last month were named the Be Strong, Be True Athletes of the Year for their respective genders, and an impressive accomplishment that it takes into more just than athletic achievement, but just athletic achievement, leadership, community, just the whole student athlete. And Arinn and Jack are the latest exemplary examples of those. So welcome to the Orange and Blue podcast, Arinn and Jack. And we'll start first with that Be Strong and Be True honor. Arinn, what is that honor? What did that mean to you?
Oh my gosh, it means so much. You know, it's amazing to be at a place like Hope that values both academic and athletics excellence. So just being at Hope in my 4 years here as a student and an athlete have meant so much to me and shaped me into who I am today. So just to be nominated for that award and to receive it was just a huge honor.
And then for you, when you came to Hope, is that something that drew you here? Did you know that walking in, or is that something you fully realized once you were a part of the community?
I think I had a little bit of an idea coming in, but when you get here, you truly realize that the people here, they're pushing you to be your best, definitely both in the classroom and on the field. And it just shapes you into a better person and prepares you really well for the future.
For you, Jack, that honor, what did it mean to you?
So like Arinn, I was just extremely honored to get that nomination with all the other student athletes that were beside me. It was just sweet to be up there with all those great academically, athletically, and in the community students. And we all did our part. But after getting the award, I was extremely honored just to stand up there and kind of just know that all the hard work that we put in, it just displays what we did. And it made me feel really good that I was able to leave a mark my 4 years at Hope, and that Hope allowed us to do something like that. So in the lacrosse team, we had It's On Us and One Love and the Hope Street Foundation. And it was just cool to have that in our teams, like every season, just have that and then actually be a part of that and help that grow for next year.
Same for you, Jack. Did you know coming here that it was going to be that type of experience, or when did you fully realize the full breadth of the opportunities that you would have, both in all facets of your college life?
Coming into Hope, I didn't really know that side. I came here to play lacrosse and have a good education as an engineer. But as a freshman, we had the One Love and It's On Us every year, and Coach Channels was able to kind of talk through that with us to give us more examples and just knowledge about certain things that would happen in our everyday lives. And it grew on me. And then especially last year and senior year, I was able to see if we were able to spread this message across a whole team, each person could probably spread it to somebody they know or more than that. And it just helps the community as a whole. And it was just awesome to see that in our society.
And then for you, Arinn, what were some of the things that you experienced, outside of softball, and some of the things you guys did together as a team, for the community?
Yeah, every year we volunteered at Miracle League, which is like an organization that gives people with disabilities the opportunity to play baseball. And so we'll go there and you buddy up with somebody that's playing, and you get to just, watch them have so much fun playing a game that you both love. So we get to do that every year, which is just an incredible experience.
And we'll stay with you, Arinn. And this is, for both of you, with with so many opportunities, the challenge is always for anybody in life, there's only 24 hours in a day, and you need to sleep, you need to eat, you need to practice, you need to play games, but you need to study, you need to go to class, lab, maybe an internship, just a variety of things. And in order to excel in all areas, I mean, it takes a lot of work and organization. And what did you learn about being able to handle that, to get done all that you wanted to get done, and additionally then be able to have time to be able to serve others and have a social life and be with your friends as well?
Yeah, definitely a big change coming in. Coming into college, it's a big step, and you're handling a lot more things. Athletics is a lot more time management. You got to figure all that out. So it's definitely a big shift for me coming in. But I think when I started to realize, leaning on other people, like digging into your friends and, not being afraid to ask for help in those situations where you're like, hey, I need help with really anything. You can ask your professors for help here. I'm not understanding this assignment. I'm really struggling. Just the people here at Hope were just incredible. And they just really help out a lot. So, it's kind of difficult, but you get the hang of it, and Hope definitely makes it an opportunity to give you like all of those things. So it's definitely really good.
Jack, how did you learn to manage everything that you wanted to do?
I mean, the biggest thing is like overall is just time management, being able to figure out what you actually wanted coming to Hope. So for me, it was a lot of reflection and just trying to figure out what I wanted to have athletically, academically, and socially. So you got to kind of balance those things, but you can't just get rid of one of them and expect the other two to get better. You kind of need all three of them. And to do that, it just kind of focusing on what you need to do. Like if it's studying a little bit more for a test, do that, and then take it a little bit more time out of your day, say like on a weekend, to hang out with your friends, or maybe study on the weekends instead, so you can hang out with your friends during the week. But just like those little interactions with friends kind of de-stresses you, allowing you to do better in sports and on like exams and stuff like that. Because when you go to like say Phelps or Cook and you just talk for 30 minutes about whatever it is, just laughing, having fun, that takes you away from that mental strain that you have the whole week as a student athlete, whether it's just working out, practicing, watching film, and then all your studies all the time. But yeah, just trying to limit those things so that not just one of them is dominating, and having all like a balance of all three is really nice, that I liked.
Arinn, your studies, when did you know what you wanted to study here at Hope? And just when did you find was that something you knew coming into the doors here, or did you find that here?
I had an idea. In high school, I kind of wanted to do athletic training, just being an athlete growing up. I wanted to be around sports. And then I shadowed a PT like my senior year of high school and really liked it. So went into college kind of knowing I wanted to do rehab, maybe with athletes, maybe with somebody else. But yeah, so I kind of had an idea. Then I got here. I think I declared my major sophomore year, but I had an idea basically the whole time that exercise science was my main goal. So I'm going to PT school next year. So I was on the right track.
Awesome. When you think about your educational or academic experience, obviously I'm sure a lot of memories, but what was something that was maybe particularly impactful on you to take that next level from wanting to go into PT, but then realizing, okay, this is really what I want to do, and shaped who you will be moving forward?
Yeah. So I got to do an internship. You do it it's part of your major. So I shadowed a PT and just fell in love with it. He worked with all different ages, all different occupations. There were some athletes, there were some geriatrics, some younger kids. And I just loved the diversity of people that I could help. So I just saw that through my shadowing experience and then got to do that.
For you, Jack, what your educational pursuit? When did you know which career path you wanted to follow?
In high school, I kind of had a general idea of going into engineering, but I had no clue of like what discipline I wanted to go to. I was thinking civil because my grandparent was civil, and but I didn't really know if that was like the option for me. But at Hope College, we're able to have our first year just like basic courses with every discipline to see like test out the waters, I guess. And I kind of just liked electrical engineering the most. And I had a couple of really good friends that I studied with all the time, and they were going electrical. So I kind of went that way in that path. And I really liked how I went that way because it's a lot better than mechanical engineering for me.
What is what do you hope to do use that for? What's kind of what's your next steps now, your post Hope career?
So post Hope, my plan is to start work in the fall for Ford Motor Company as a college or a graduate program. So every 6 months, I think I'm gonna rotate positions, departments, and just feel out what I like, just like freshman year of college, because I don't really know what I want to do, like most people don't. So I want to use that opportunity to just see what I like and then go from there.
The experience with electrical engineering, what is something that you always remember about your time in the program? I don't know, was it an experience or a certain class that really kind of helped shaped kind of what you wanted to pursue?
I mean, the biggest thing that I think about right now is just the late night study grinds before a test, like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. When all my friends are sleeping, I'm just still studying away. But one of the classes that was very difficult was embedded systems. And it kind of just, it was like a really on your own class. And we had to figure out stuff on our own, just reading through anything on Google, just trying to figure out how to do it. And that kind of just gave me the like insight that I could figure stuff out when I want to. And I like that like opportunity just to start grinding through like a project and then figuring it out your own way, and then kind of like wowing the teacher. That was pretty cool for me.
Both of you stepped on to campus and, were playing right away for your teams and making, taking on significant roles. I'll start with you, Arinn. What is it about? Where did that love of softball kind of start? And when you came in as a freshman, what were you trying to accomplish to help your team out?
So my love for softball started at a very young age. My dad's a softball coach, so I've been around it like my whole life. And then both my parents went to Hope, so I always had kind of this dream to come play for Hope. And then when I got here, they had a really good team like the couple years before, and I know they had lost some players, some big roles. So I just wanted to be able to like step in as a freshman, and I didn't know if I was going to play, but I just wanted to be there and like make a difference. And whether it was on the field or like in the dugout, I just wanted to like, I don't know, like make a difference and just have a good time.
Were you always an infielder? I know second base has been the position I'm most familiar with seeing you play. Is that been the position you played, or was that a new position when you came here?
I started out as a catcher and then like my sophomore year in high school, I went to middle infield. So I played a little bit of short and a little bit of second in high school and travel. So coming here, it was pretty much the same.
With infield, obviously you got to make, especially at second base, there's a lot of decisions. You got first and second, and then communicating with the outfielders and just everything that's involved. What have you learned about playing softball that helped you be able to be such a good player? You were all region this year. You've been all MIAA before. What have you learned about being able to play the position at a high level?
Yeah, you got to rely on your teammates. I mean, it's not a one person sport. So, making that play, you got to rely on your first baseman to catch it. You got to rely on the double play that she's going to make a good throw. You just got to have full trust in your teammates. And I think having full trust allows you to just play with all that you can and like give all that you can because you know that they're doing the same thing. So sometimes that takes a little bit to learn and figure out. and just to build that trust. But once you do, I think that just allows everybody to play at a much higher level.
Jack, you were able to come in and contribute right away as well. When thinking back to when you first started playing lacrosse here, where I guess first even further back, where did that love of the game start? And then what were your goals when you came in as a freshman?
My love of the game started, I think, around fifth grade. So my cousin was playing, and he was a couple years older than me, and I picked up the stick. And I wasn't very good the first couple of years, but I just liked how there's so much different dynamics to lacrosse, where it's hitting, running fast, just being like physical with people, just like football. I like to play that when I was younger, but it was just like all in one, and then the skill, and like you didn't have to be big to do it. You didn't have to be, you could be just quick and small, and I kind of like that aspect of it. And it just kind of grew on me. And then in middle school, I hurt my back, so I kind of gave up football and just started with lacrosse. And I would just remember backyard, just playing catch by myself and just shooting for hours. And it was just like the most fun thing ever, even though it was really doing nothing in my backyard. And then coming to Hope College, as a freshman, I didn't really know what I was going to do at all, like most freshmen do, at like a good team. And I kind of just wanted to make it my impression in the fall by just trying my hardest and making everybody else around me better. So whether it was like a new person that I was being guarded by or a senior, I try to make myself like the best I could to make them better, if that makes sense. Because I didn't know if I was going to start or not in the spring. But I just wanted to do it as much as I could, whether it was riding, ground balls, trying to make their life as hard as possible to make them better in the future. And it kind of paid off.
And it paid off. You became, I mean, an offensive MVP this season, and you've been all MIAA and all region before. What have you learned about playing at a very high level? You guys obviously also, have played in the NCAA tournament. What have you learned with your game to be able to elevate it to be someone that was such a dynamic attacker, for a very good lacrosse team?
So I think the biggest thing is being able to change what you're trying to do in certain like games. So trying to read the defense and trying to read what they're trying to like throw at you, and then just adjust to that. I remember most games with Coach Channels after like the first quarter, we would talk through what's going on, if the defense is sliding from crease or adjacent or switching on picks. And we talked about that pretty much every time out, every quarter. And that just helps a lot because you can talk to your offense and see what's working. And then if it's not working, then we're going to try something else. And that kind of helped us the last couple of years a lot when our offense kind of started scoring a lot more, just being like dynamic instead of trying to just keep on throwing the same exact play at them, right? And I really like that.
For both of you, what did being able to play, how did that help you just with everything? It was as much a stress reliever or just kind of that part of, things? I start with you, Arinn. How did that help you as a student athlete here, just being able to play?
I mean, it's definitely a stress reliever for sure. It's just a joy to be out on that field. So it's just, I think, a little bit of a relief, and then you just have fun with it. But yeah, I think like you said, just definitely a stress reliever for the academic, like hard times that come. So
For you, Jack?
Yeah, going off that, I think my freshman year fall, we had like a couple bad practices, and our captain Gino was talking to the whole team and said, just like kind of forget about everything else in your life right now and just play lacrosse because this is your recess. And that's what kind of stuck through me the last 4 years is when you're at lacrosse practice, even if you're tired or sore, or you're not having a good day, when you're out on the field, you kind of don't think about school or any deadlines coming up or that you're sore. You're just like kind of playing lacrosse. And I've always played like that where it kind of just, everything just loses itself in my mind. And I just think about playing lacrosse or getting the ball, stuff like that. And it definitely de-stresses you to allow you to reset for maybe studying 5 hours after that practice or stuff like that. And it's just been a big relief for me because I just wait for practice, then you can just reset and then do the same thing over and over again.
Obviously, there's a lot of people that you could probably name, but if you could, both of you, think about a couple people that have been particularly helpful to you as you've navigated all the studies and the competitions and everything else. And I start with you, Arinn. Just a couple people that you'd want to say thank you to for helping you get from that wide-eyed freshman to now a graduated senior and ready to go off into the world to make an impact there.
Yeah, I would definitely just say thank you to all of my coaches and my teammates. They pushed me on the field, in the classroom, in my faith, just in life in general with like friendships, relationships. They just pushed me to be my best in all aspects, taught me to be more confident in who I was. So I'm definitely a better version of myself since walking into Hope because of them. And then I would just like definitely my professors as well. With the academic load that I had, it was just nice that they all were so understanding and cared about you as both a student and a person. Whether that be, helping out in office hours because you didn't understand like something on a test, or having a bonfire at their house. Like we'd go there and just they'd open up their homes to us. So they just made like my major super enjoyable, even though it was like super hard. So I'm very grateful for them.
For you, Jack.
Kind of going off that, I would just want to say thank you to all my friends, teammates, coaches, and my family, because they have had my back and encouraged me to do the best I can. And they're always proud of what I've done, but they always push me to do better when I'm not doing my best. They don't want to like allow me to dip below that level. And I really just want to thank all of them for doing that. I want to shout out Andrew Conlin, Cole Scheffler, and then my coaches, Mike Shanos and Chris Schelt, always pushing me to do better academically and athletically. And then another friend is Jackson Bodie. He's my engineering buddy that has stuck with me the whole 4 years of just grinding out homework and getting better as an engineer and just kind of being better that way as well.
And I'll close. Obviously, this year you guys were part of mentoring some freshman teammates and welcoming to Hope and getting them started, hopefully on the right foot to their journeys. And there'll be a new class coming in this fall that'll be in a boat that you were in not too far long ago with starting at Hope. What advice would you give to them as they start their journeys to try to find their path and get the most out of their Hope experience like both of you have? Arinn?
I would say just have fun with it. Dive into building relationships with your teammates right away, like right from the start, especially those in your class, because those are going to be lifelong friendships that you're going to really miss when you leave. And then also I'd just say, don't be afraid to ask for help. As athletes, sometimes we think that we can handle it all and that we can do it ourselves, but I would just say it's okay, to get help, whether that be academically or with mental health or with anything really. Just it's okay to get help. And then lastly, just enjoy every minute because it goes really, really fast.
Yes.
Jack?
So with what Arinn said was just diving into friendships, stuff like that on your team. I know freshman year I have friendships that are now my best friends that I didn't know, and they were older than me as well. And I still talk to them all the time. There's no hard feelings with just trying to make a friendship out of nothing at the start. You got nothing to lose, everything to gain, stuff like that. And then one of the biggest things I used throughout my career was not to worry about things that you can't control. So sure, there are some things like tests, homework, exams that you're going to worry about, like getting a good grade, but you can't let them continually build on each other to make you stressed out about it and make you like do worse in school. So if you do something bad or you get a bad grade, just try your best to make that better next time. You don't have to worry about the first one. I've had my fair share of failed first test and I've done fine. And, but at the end of the day, there's so much time in your life and there's no point of trying to worry about stuff that you can't control. just go to bed earlier. If you need more sleep, ask for help, because a lot of people on your team are going to be the same as you when they're freshmen, and they will help you out in any class that you have, or give you the notes that they had when they were a freshman, stuff like that. And people have done the same thing you've done as a freshman. So, I mean, you can start friendships out by asking for help, and they build and build and build. But yeah, that's my advice. Just don't worry on stuff that you can't control. And then if you can control it, then just do something about it, right?
And I would be remiss. I shouldn't mention this school year, an amazing year. Just announced another Commissioner's Cup for the All Sports Awards. And then not only on that, 12 conference championships, multiple runner-up finishes. Probably this will be the last one, just on the community within athletics. To be able to, it's one thing to have one or two teams do really well and have an amazing season, but have the number that we did, that both of you were a part of, with very high winning percentages and et cetera. Just what is it about Hope Athletics to you that allows it where more and more people get involved with success, not just maybe a handful of teams? Arinn?
I think it's just the athletic department itself is so supportive. Like, I know our team, some of our favorite things was to go watch basketball, both girls and guys. That was just super fun. So it's just like, from the administration, it's support, and from other student athletes, it's like incredible support. So there's just like a want to win for everybody. So it's just like really fun to be a part of like a department and a community that just like supports each other and wants everyone to win, and it's just really fun.
Jack?
I agree with that. And I think the community of just being there for each other is just so great at Hope College. Within my team, all of them are like my brother now, and they've always been there when I was a freshman, or now I'm a senior, like trying to mentor them. And I feel like most teams at Hope have like the BT mentality that the lacrosse team has: be together, better together. And I mean, it kind of shows with the 12 conference championships, but Hope Athletics they're driven both academically and athletically to be their best. And I know the coaches and the athletic department try to push us as most they can, like to our abilities, and they give us the resources to do so, whether that's DeVos fields that are really nice, just giving us time to be better together with our time here.
Awesome. Well, thank you both, Arinn King and Jack Radzville, for joining me today on the Hope Athletics Orange and Blue podcast. It's been a pleasure these 4 years, even though we had one season interrupted, unfortunately, but watching you compete, and we wish you both well in your future endeavors, and look forward to following new paths for you. So thanks, Arinn, and thanks, Jack.
Thank you.
Thank you.